Hi guys. So we've been talking about how we keep private information or personal information private. I'm going to tell you how I made company information public. So I'm going to talk to you about Fiji, which is a brand new product that we issued on the 13th of September. It's a flight delay insurance that is completely parametric, meaning that it's not a customer that will trigger a notification of loss and then a claims payment. It will be data, okay? The payment or the indemnification of this insurance product is triggered by data. And we did that on flight delay. So we issued a flight delay insurance, and people get compensated automatically and immediately when the plane is more than 2 hours late. So as soon as the plane arrives at arrival gate, they have compensation. That's great. So I'm going to talk about blockchain because we use that technology, but the thing that we did initially was to be fully customer-centric and to answer what we heard in the street when people talk about insurers. Okay, I guess you are polite, and in this room you will not say what the people in your family think about insurers, but I guess it's not always quite positive, okay? And we wanted to fight that because when I arrived in this company, I realized that we are a company that truly helps people and support them when they have big problems, okay? Your house has been burnt, the insurance is here, or the insurer is here to help you move on with your life. So I think there is a huge mismatch between what we do, and we really support people that when they are in deep need, and we have and people don't necessarily see us like that, and you know what people say about insurance, okay? You need to understand the contract. They are too big. When you have a problem, you don't know if it's covered or not. You don't know how much indemnity you will get, and so on. And we try to answer all of these things with Fiji. So Fiji is a product on which I give the indemnity amount before people buy, okay? There is no exclusion at all. So if your plane is late because there is a strike, it's covered. If your plane is late because there was a computer failure in the airport, it's covered, okay? If your plane is late because there was an alien attack, you're covered and you will get indemnified. We also use the blockchain, and I'm going to explain that because when we indemnify a person, we decide if this person needs to be indemnified or not. And some customers don't like that because if we don't indemnify them, we increase our profit. So they think that there is something that needs to be adjusted here because we have a power to decide, but we are also a party to the transaction. And we use the blockchain so we use the blockchain as an independent entity that will be the one saying if the customer will be indemnified. Okay, we are not doing that anymore in this product. Maybe we can show the video so that you guys better understand it.
You don't like to be delayed, neither do we. But when it happens, there is nothing you can do except hope for some assistance from your airline. You have travel insurance? Fine. But are you covered for plane delay? Whatever the cause of the delay? Not so sure. Even when you are eligible for a compensation, it can be a bit painful to get it. At Fiji, we transform your hassle into financial benefit. Purchase Fiji at fiji.axa and get compensated instantly. No need to ask for it, no paperwork, no wasted time. Fiji is a next-generation parametric insurer. Fiji is transparent. The amount of the compensation is displayed to you before you buy and stored in a blockchain. Fiji cannot change terms after your purchase. Fiji is easy. You don't need to ask for compensation. If your plane is late by more than 2 hours, public databases of plane status information will automatically trigger your compensation. Fiji is fast. You are notified of your compensation minutes after your plane lands. Fiji is sure. Your insurance works in 100% of cases, whatever the cause of delay. Fiji. You will learn to love delay.
You will learn to love delay. So what we want to do is to transform what is a negative situation into a positive memory for people. And I hope that we can expand afterwards. We can do that for plane delay, but then after we can do that for missed connection, for train delay, potentially for rain at my wedding, these kind of things, okay? Wherever there is public data that can be leveraged, we will have surfaces to provide new kinds of insurance products. It could be insurance products that AXA as an insurer sells, or it could be insurance protection that is combined with a specific product, okay? For example, your Samsung, you sell mobile phones. You can guarantee people against a default in the battery in the first year of usage, for example, because you can check how the battery behaves. You can know that some batteries are malfunctional and then indemnify the customer right away. Or it cannot be financial indemnification. It can be just a message saying you should go to this place and they will change your battery. So these are new examples that will pop up with big data, with big public data. We will have new surfaces, and I hope that Fiji will still be there to grasp this opportunity. I wanted to tell you a few things about data. So you saw that when there is public data, here we can use it and we can provide new services for customers. So I guess we need to differentiate between private data or personal data and public data or data that could be become commons because it can be used to really provide new services for people. And I wanted also, because we're in that data seminar, to tell you a little bit more how we have structured information within Fiji. So when you buy at Fiji, of course, we ask you your personal details, a few personal details, because we need to send you the indemnification. But we don't put that in the blockchain, okay? And whenever you hear about a project that is using blockchain, and typically public blockchain, as I do, so I'm using the Ethereum public blockchain, you need to, as a consumer at least, have a warning that tells you how is my private data used in this example. So even if you cannot really check because you're not necessarily a developer, you need to get the information from a power user. And what we've done at Fiji is that we only put a user ID on the public blockchain plus data about the plane so that the smart contract can trigger the indemnification. You all know what a smart contract is? Maybe I need to explain. So a smart contract is typically a simple if-then function that is on the blockchain. So instead of saying I give 1 Ether or 1 Bitcoin, depending on which blockchain it is on, to this particular person. So instead of saying I give Marcin 1 Bitcoin, I will say, using a smart contract, things like I give margin 1 Bitcoin if something happens. So if it rains, or if it's more than 35 degrees in Paris tomorrow. And in this case, it's if there is a delay of 2 hours or more on this plane. Okay, so to be able to be triggered, this smart contract on the blockchain needs to have the information about which plane are we tracking, what is the arrival time that is set, and so on. But we don't really need to know the first name, last name of the person that is covered on this insurance product. So we just put the user ID, and the personal information is stored on our AXA database that is supposed to be secure. And that is secure. Sorry, don't laugh when I say things like that, because it's really awkward for me. So we don't transfer personal data on the blockchain, and we have also some securities, such as the smart contract that is triggered can only be triggered by AXA and not by any other address, which is not always the case when we talk about smart contracts. That was precisely about data. So I go back to the advantages of Fiji. So Fiji is sure because you know as a consumer that you will be compensated. And I'm going to give you a secret, but don't say it in another place. I used blockchain to negotiate with my actuaries. I told them, a smart contract is not that smart, so it's if the plane is late, then I need to compensate. But I cannot put things in the smart contract, such as if it's late for a strike, then we don't cover. If it's late for another reason, then there is indemnification. So in this example, blockchain was a cool way for me to use an external factor to deal with the negotiation with actuaries. So that was great, and I did it. Fiji is also easy because it's fully automated. So when you pay, you do nothing afterwards. There's no claim, no paperwork, and the indemnification is just pushed on your bank account. You don't even have to provide your IBAN number. Okay, what we do with the payment provider is that he stores the information because he's allowed to. He's got all the certification. The details about the credit card is not even seen by AXA, even at payment, but they give us kind of a token, and when there is indemnification, the smart contract sends to the payment provider information about how much they need to indemnify the customer and the specific token. And then the payment provider credits the bank account linked to this credit card. If the credit card was stolen in the meantime, then there is a way to change the number of the credit card. Okay, and it's very transparent. Because it's on the public blockchain. So today you cannot really check it, but in the next release we will give you the address of the transaction on the blockchain. So you will see that there is a transaction for you. Compensation is done by data, so it's pretty objective. And it's also decided not by the insurer, but by a blockchain. Okay. And also something that is new is the fact that the compensation is really flight specific. So you have a coverage that you have bought, so you know that you're covered. It's not something like you have an annual coverage and you don't really know what's inside. So as I said, we use the smart contract to code the fact that there are no asterisks, no small characters, no hidden rules. Even though there are no hidden rules at AXA, but as we are leaders in insurance, we know that others can do that. we use the smart contract because we want to make sure that the pre-purchase agreement is strictly enforced and the execution is automated. And by the way, the last thing is really interesting. If there is a cyber attack on AXA, okay, let's imagine a doomsday scenario where AXA is completely attacked and data is lost or destroyed. We have a secure storage of our commitments on the blockchain, which is not the case for other products. Obviously, we have redundancy and protection and so on, but we don't have such a powerful tool as a blockchain to secure the commitments that we have towards our customers. So the market appetite seems to be here. We had a lot of media, even one that I'm really, really proud of, which is CoinDesk, that talked about us. So CoinDesk is a major media in the blockchain space. And there is a girl from CoinDesk, which I really love now. I don't know her, but she's called Noelle Atchison, and she said this small blockchain-based travel insurance experiment, well, she said experiment, well, it's a live product, so she could have said product, but let's say it's okay because the end of the sentence is good, is giving us a glimpse of what the insurance business could look like in 10 years' time. I'm really proud to have done that. So as I said, this is the first part. We are going to start with travel delay, and what we want to do now is to partner with the airlines, travel agency, tour operators, railways, or railway companies, because if we do that B2C, we will have to buy a lot of keywords, and we will have to buy them at specific times. So we don't know that the business model will be very profitable in the short term, okay, before the solution is really known by the public like a very heavy brand. So what we want to do is start with partnerships and plug that in the purchase of airline ticket or travel tickets or railway tickets, okay? And that's what we want to do. And when we've done that, we will have a platform. So we are working on the API gateway right now. And we will have a platform in which businesses can get an insurance product that is parametric. And once we have done that with travel, so now delay, but it can be cancellation, diversion of plane, it can be misconnection, anything. Once we've done that with this sector, we can replicate that on other verticals. Okay, weather, natural catastrophes, that's interesting because that's potentially things that are excluded from other insurance contracts, and we can re-include them, so give additional protection to people. We can imagine solution against pollution. So you're going to Beijing, for example, or to Athens next month. You want to be covered in case your trip is completely ruined because there is a peak of pollution that particular day. I'm able to provide a policy for that. We can do that for death policies too. If I die, I want my daughter to have money right away, okay? So, and in France, it's okay with regulation. It doesn't have to be in the heavy state process. You can select one person that will have automatic payments. We just need to have a really reliable database, because I don't want to be sending a message such as, okay, your father has died, so we grant you 50,000 euros if it's not the case, okay? So I'm waiting a little bit on this one. We can have products such as, you know, on terrorism and crowd events that could be deadly. And the battery use case that I talked about, but we can imagine any product. I think I cannot even imagine what will be the golden nugget of Fiji in the future. Thank you very much.